Good morning, Tony B here, Sunny Oak Hills. It's a cool morning here. A couple days before New Year's, we needed some cold weather. It's been pretty warm. It's an unseasonably warm Christmas here in Florida. We're not used to getting super cold air for Christmas, but it was almost 80, so nice to have a little crisp in the air. We're back on the smokehouse. We keep finding things that we want to do different, add, enhance, all this stuff. So yesterday was our second day of um, burning fires in this, just to get this smokehouse seasoned. I know the lighting is not super great, but the wood is really starting to soak in the smoke. We can see color variations of the smoke adhering and soaking into the wood, so that's what we want. Up in the top, it's doing really good. We burned about probably 5 hours worth of fire yesterday. The temperature, I'd bring it up to about 250 and then let it go back down, throw some more wood on there, bring it back up again. Did that throughout the day. Again, just to get the heat in there. We want this wood to really dry. There are saps in different wood, especially in pine. We want to do what we can to work these chemicals out that they use when they saw the stuff and process the plywood. So definitely doing a lot of work on that. Little Weber grill. This guy's been pretty awesome. Keeps the temperatures really good. All we did is put a temperature gauge that you would get on a grill and drilled a hole through the door, attached to the back. It's got a little probe, so gives us a pretty good idea of what we're working with. But yeah, we would get it up to about 250 and then let it drop back down to maybe 190 and go back up again. Just kept doing that for about 5 hours and seemed to really do good. It was nice seeing the smoke. We left a small air gap, about 1/8 of an inch, up here in the bird blocks. You can see how the smoke is coming off the edge, so it was bowling out good there. Our little 2.5-inch hole here in the back, it was just pushing smoke out like crazy. So excited to see that the draft is working. We are getting the draw that we need. And today, so after we have these, I picked up some wooden dowels last night that will hang across here, and today we're going to put in a couple of expanded metal shelves. Basically, these are going to be 12 inches by 24 inches. So we're going to do a little bit of welding today. The angle iron, we're going to attach some bolts in the wall so that this can basically just hang like a cleat almost over these bolts, and we'll show you all that here in a little bit. But that's today's plan. But get this going, and then Dad and I are going to go this afternoon to hopefully see some activity at our hunting stand. We had some hogs come in this morning. I think the cold air is finally getting things moving, which again, we needed some cool air. It was too warm even for Florida. But maybe we can get fortunate and drop a pig or two tonight, maybe a deer. Who knows? We got a lot of season left, and we'd love to get this thing up and going. Once I get the racks in today, probably burn another fire for a few hours. Again, just trying to get at least a half dozen, maybe more, of seasoned fires in there. Again, just want that inside as good as we can get it. I want that smoke flavor, the smoke to penetrate into the pine. Again, we had to use pine. Didn't have access to big 1x10 or 3/4 by 12 inch oak planks, so we did it the old-fashioned way, and not worried about it at all. And I know a lot of smokehouses have been made with plywood. As long as we do our part to season this and condition it properly with the smoke. One comment we received on that Facebook page was to take a torch and go in there and torch this. And the guy's spot on. That's actually a great way of doing it. It's an old way of preserving wood. Take a little blowtorch and you're slightly charring the wood, which seals it, keeps termites, other insects out. and preserves it for moisture as well. We did not use any pressure treated material in this smokehouse. Everything is number 2 pine. We have the T111, which is pine. We want to get this firebox going to temperatures that draw out those chemicals, evaporate it out, and the best way to do that is with fire. So the old saying, trial by fire, it's pretty accurate, and we will be able to get this thing knocked out, and yeah, if all goes well, we will have some meat going in there this year. The way it works, we will hopefully, harvest a good animal, or 2, or 3, or 4, or whatever. We got plenty of hogs on the hunting lease, so nothing wrong with getting rid of those. Get them here on the cleaning pole, get them skinned out. We'll put them in a big ice chest, keep ice on them for a day or so, and then we will go into our cleaning room there. This actually works for our fish cleaning and for our meat processing. When I say meat processing, we're just using this little table and sink in here as a place to bone out the meat. We'll put all those in bags, and we'll get some probably fat from a local grocery store. Butchers are pretty good about keeping some fat off to the side, and then we'll take our grinder and some seasonings, and we'll start making sausage. And once we get all the sausage into the casing, put it in the fridge overnight, let those casings kind of draw up a little bit, and the next day it goes in the smokehouse. So we got a lot to get done, a lot of fun times ahead, not just for this project, but just using this smokehouse for years to come. And the racks we're building today will be, if we want to do some patty sausage, which we do. We love patty sausage, makes a good breakfast sausage. And then we'll also have it for maybe a turkey breast. All right, so we're going to get after this thing, get set up here, get some measurements, and I'm going to start cutting some steel and doing some welding. Full disclosure, I am not a welder. I can stick the MIG welder to the steel and make it stay together, but I do not pride myself at all in being a welder. Kind of like being a block mason. I'm not a block mason, but framing, that was easy. That I understand framing. But the welding is something that we'll put enough wire on it that'll melt it and it will hold it. All right, let's get going. All right, so what we're doing here is going to build two racks, grill racks, that are 12 by 24. I'm going to open this guy up and just see if we get the full 12 by 24 or if it's going to be a little bit less. Well, looks like we got the 12 inches. Maybe just a 24 and an eighth. Close enough. So we're going to take these two, this one and one more, and we're going to make a frame for this to sit on. Basically, we're going to come in here and tack this expanded metal to this. This will be a framework for that. On two sides, we're going to use a wider piece of angle. And what we're going to do is we're going to drill a hole. I got 3/8 stainless steel lag screws. We will drill a hole in this and then take the grinder and notch. We're going to make like a keyway. And then we're going to put those lag bolts into the studs, into the blocking of that. So you can take this, set it right in to those little slots, and those lags have little washers on them. It'll be basically it's supported, but it's not being held up by a framed ledger. The ledger becomes the lag bolts that we put into the wall. Seems a little confusing now. I think when it's all said and done, it'll make sense. In my head, it makes sense. So that's a scary place to be sometimes, but I think we got a game plan. So we're going to measure up this 3/4 inch angle iron, make a frame for that. We'll do our cutting outside here, and then we'll go inside the shop to do the actual tack welding. Bad thing is I don't have a fabrication table here, or a fixture table, so I get to get down on my knees, do all the welding, and then attempt to stand back up. So it's going to be hard on the back and knees today, but it's a relatively small project. It shouldn't take more than, I think, a couple hours tops, and I think it'll make a big difference. But I think here, if you're looking at the size of a sausage patty or even a hamburger patty, you know, you're what, about 4 to 5 inches. So here we'll get, let's just say 4 across, 4, 8, 12. We're looking at 12 to 15 patties for each one of these racks. And these racks will be closer to the fire box down there, so there will be a little bit more heat. So we will be able to do some actual cooking of the meat on these racks, whereas everything's going to be on the hanging dowels will be just smoke infusion. Very, very little heat actually going to that to cook the meat. We don't want to cook it, we just want that flavor. The cooking will be done on the Traeger, Blackstone, any grill, in the skillet, cast iron skillet inside. We want it to have the flavor. So let's get cutting on this and get some measurements and see what happens. One thing I will say, using a grinder, these things can hurt you. I do not have a full face shield, so I will be kind of cutting at an angle. These little cutoff blades, they are deadly. You can go on the internet and find all kinds of grinder fails. They can get caught up in your shirt, your hoodie in this case because it's cold, any workwear that you have on. But yeah, these things can snap, and I don't know how many RPMs. It's a lot. This thing is spinning around, and once these things shatter, there's just shards going everywhere. So definitely pay close attention to what you're doing on these when you use them. I'm not Captain Safety, but a little common sense goes a long way. And yes, I probably should have a full face shield and probably should wear gloves, but I am not good at wearing gloves when it comes to stuff like this. Don't know why. Should be, but that's kind of the way I am. So, all right, enough talking. Let's get to work. See what I mean? That blade just chipped. One little jump. Didn't have it securely fastened. That's what happens. Okay, so laid out on the floor, I took a level and a square, made a template, if you will, of the size of the rack. This is where a welding table or fab table would be super helpful, so I wouldn't be up and down and all this stuff, but it is what it is here. We gotta dial this down, check our settings. This is about 1/8 inch thick. We're using 035 wire. So we'll do 240 18, so we'll burn just a touch hotter. We'll keep that at 240. Just going to do a couple of tack welds to get this thing held together. Whenever you weld, this is like really heating up the steel. It will want to warp on you. I wish I had some clamps to hold these things in place, but we're going to wing it and see what happens here. Alright, so we got everything welded here, or it's just tack welded. And nothing crazy, just enough to hold it in place. We know we're square because of the marks on the ground. We are going to go ahead and time lapse this and attach our expanded metal, and that'd be one down. Okay, we got our other shelf, other rack. It's still a little warm. This will go on the right side like this. Be a hole here with the keyway, hole here with the keyway, and then one on this end. We'll have a lag in the back, two on the side. This will just sit right on there. So we're going to do some measurements for some blocking, and then we got to drill these, take the grinder, cut little notches in, and we're almost there. Alright, so we are officially welded, tacked together. Now we're going to make some little keyhole slots. What we're trying to do is get this where drill a hole, take the grinder, cut up to the hole, and then these will slide right down, or this will slide down over the lag screw. Got 2-inch lag, stainless steel with a washer. It'll go into blocking on the smokehouse wall. It'll hang from here, here, and then also here. And this thing probably weighs just over 1.5 pounds maybe. Most will have on there, let's say it's 16 patties, which that may be maybe closer to a dozen patties, but either way, 1/4 pound, what's that, 4? We're holding less than 6 pounds of weight on 3/8 lags, so definitely not going anywhere. I've got everything marked, the 3 locations of where the lags will go. So I'm going to go ahead and drill this out, take the grinder, notch out the ears of it, and go install blocking, put lags in, and this thing should be ready to be hanging here shortly. Okay, we've got the patty grills in. We've got our wooden dowels in. I'll probably stagger these depending on the length of casing and the sausage lengths that come out. But we can easily move these guys over to wherever we want to work with. We can do 2 up high, 3 down low. We have options. But all in all, I am super happy how this turned out. So these racks, they are removable. So if we don't want them in here, we just take them out. But all in all, the wood is starting to get seasoned, getting that good dark coat to it. You can really tell with the fresh wood I put on today versus the what's already had a couple of fires burning in it. But we are close, looking really good, and it works so far. That's a win. All we need to do now is get the rest of the trim stained, the soffits, the eaves, and yeah, keep burning fires. Then we gotta kill some hogs, kill some deer. We need to process them, make them in sausage, and get them in the smokehouse. So all in all, this has been a really fun project. I really enjoyed doing this. Definitely time consuming. Been a one-man band here doing this, but I've enjoyed it. It's always fun to get out and when you have an idea in your head and be able to see it come to life, and that's why I got so excited about construction, and still am. I mean, I was in high school knowing that I wanted to be a contractor. I wanted to build stuff because you could walk out on a piece of property and it just be dirt, and then each day you're there, something new happens, it progresses, and then you get customers get excited about watching their house be built, and it's just a very rewarding thing to me. But all in all, this is something I'm glad I did. I think next time I would definitely go bigger. Next time. There may not be a next time, but I think like a 4x6, maybe even a 4x8 would have been great. Double doors, but I don't know. This is a good first time rodeo, and again, excited that when I light a fire, it holds heat. About 180 to 200 is kind of the magic number we want to be at. I'm thinking that we will only have the sausages in here for a couple hours to help get that smoke to get in, and then from there, ice bath, dry them off, vacuum seal them, and in the freezer to be enjoyed at a later date. But hope you guys have enjoyed the build. We'll get one more walk around once everything is finished. It's pretty cold here. As I said, we were about 30 degrees this morning, and tomorrow's supposed to be kind of cold too. We got a lot of wind today, so I think today's Tuesday. I would say by maybe Thursday or Friday, we're out here getting the final coat of stain on, touching up some areas, and yeah, do a walk around then. But thank you guys for watching. Appreciate everybody that tunes in. Love the comments. I think everybody has ideas of what can be done, what should be done, and know what if you build your smokehouse, it's your smokehouse. You do what makes you happy, and then if it doesn't work out, then you have to rebuild it. But I did spend a few months looking at ideas, getting ideas, again, wishing we had access to some oak planks. I think that would have been great to have here. But you make do what you have, and plywood was available. Number 2 pine was available, so we will get this good and seasoned. We'll get the inside of these walls nice and dark and black, and it'll be safe to do some sausage in. And I'm excited about getting some patty sausages, some breakfast sausages on these racks. Again, they will definitely be handy. Wish you guys had smell-o-vision. It's already starting to smell really good in here, and I don't know, it just kind of takes you back to a time when things were simpler, and people did this to survive. And And we do it for fun, entertainment, and things that we take for granted nowadays. Used to be, it was necessary for the old timers to do this. But hope you guys have enjoyed, and we'll do one more walk around at the very end. But here we are so far. About 3 more hours of staining, and about probably 15-20 more hours of seasoning, and I think we are ready to put some meat in here. Just gotta go get some first. Alright, you guys have a great day. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk soon.